Thanksgiving is a time for family and food, but holiday get-togethers can bring up some uncomfortable topics at the table. This year, coming off a big election, talking politics can be a recipe for disaster, but it doesn't have to be. Licensed clinical social worker and therapist Dr. Whitney Howzell joins us now with some tongue-in-cheek advice to navigate these conversations. But let's start very seriously because it's very personal. People are very raw about this. Explain to me the emotions that people are literally coming to the table with.
Yeah, I think underneath it all is fear. It's fear of the unknown. I think we forget because the pandemic seems like light years away. It was only 2 years ago, and people still remember those things that have happened. It's still very much lingering, you know, the way it affected them, whether it's politics or prices or, you know, fear of losing things, just not knowing and really wanting to hold on to a sense of control. And when folks don't have that, of course they feel vulnerable. Of course they feel fearful and they're sad and upset, you know?
So you want to be aware of people's feelings. Do you like the setup we gave you today?
This is nice, right?
We get to sit at the table, which we will be doing. Yeah. You told me that some people just want to skip it all together so they can avoid those conversations.
Yeah, interestingly enough, there's a study by Spruce that just came out today that 64% of Americans, and this was across 50 states, men and women are talking about skipping Thanksgiving or holiday meals altogether. And it's an even split, you know, with people on either side of the aisle, with a 48% on their side and a 52% on the other side. But what they had in common is that they just don't want to talk about it, you know?
So that sounds great. Let's not talk about it. Can we make that a rule? Like everyone come to the dinner, bring your potluck, you know, item, and also bring a great attitude. And we're not doing politics at Thanksgiving.
Of course, you can set family rules, but moreover, we call them boundaries, right? Yes. You can set healthy external and internal boundaries. One thing that may be less aggressive than saying this is the rule at the table may be starting with an act of gratitude or some sort of ritual, you know, sitting around and thinking about before or after if you bless the food or say grace, something that you're grateful for with everyone at the table, with life in general, remembering that you have this time and space to spend with each other or even a meal to share. And it's those little small acts of gratitude that really go a long way with kind of diminishing the fear.
Well, we have the tongue-in-cheek version. You said beware of the turkey tussle. What does that mean?
Yeah, so you don't want to get into an argument or a fight around politics at the table. And they can get heated really quickly, right? So we should be wrestling with the wishbone and not with each other. So when things like this happen, it's okay to take a break, to walk away, to really have some cues to tell you when it's going left or when you want to implement those so-called rules or boundaries that you just set in place.
Mind your manners. That seems simple enough, but let's all just mind our manners. Find the sweet spot beyond the pie. What does that mean?
So finding common ground. You know, there has to be something beneath the politics that you all have in common. You've known each other for years before the last, you know, 8 years that have happened. Whether that is your love of the pumpkin pie or whether you have mutual concerns like why did we just let my 16-year-old cousin make the mac and cheese for everyone and now we're eating cheese soup, you know? So finding those common grounds are really, really important.
Yeah, let's see, pass the potatoes, not your opinion. Oh, I like stick to the stuffing, and that's be ready with a quick pivot.
Yeah. Quick pivots are important, right? So this could be like side conversations, anything from how'd you like the dish, to news, to weather, sports. Yes, sports, I know sometimes those can be decisive, but
I'd rather argue about that.
But having a quick pivot to, you know, your uncle when he starts ranting about the state of things, to hey, how about those Cowboys? Will they ever make it to the Super Bowl? Quick pivot, something he likes, something that can be more of a casual argument than something that's really riddled in fear and shame.
So be ready with some of that.
Yeah.
We saw up on the screen there, practice the smile and nod. What is that?
So the smile and nod technique, it's tried and true for therapists like myself, right? It's a strategy to get you out of sticky situations. And it's really like the most simple diplomacy that you can execute, right? So when in doubt, just smile, nod, pass the peas. You don't have to say anything.
Indeed. But like, I think Mom needs some help in the kitchen.
There you go.
Did I hear something? Someone's calling my name. great tactics that you are arming us with moving into this weekend. And I like what you said about focusing on the gratitude. Maybe if we fill the conversation with all these other beautiful things, there'll be no time for politics.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.